I'm gonna run, run, run.
Hey there, it's the Bad Couch Guru, Lindbergh, and today I'm going to tell you about when I spent a year and a half dancing East Coast swing dance. And again, me and my awful track record, it was back when I was single and I was looking for a new boyfriend. And I thought if I went dancing that maybe I would find some guy. Terrible reason to go dancing. Actually, no, it's really not a terrible reason to go dancing. But it got me out and it got me exercising, and I loved it because I didn't feel like I was exercising. I'm going to tell you about my East Coast swing dance, but this could be West Coast swing dance. And if you don't know the difference between the two, don't worry. This could be any kind of dance. This could be, club dancing, ballroom dancing, and technically East Coast is ballroom dancing. But so here it is. Dancing. This could be it for you. This could be the one thing that you finally realize, oh my gosh, I love to exercise for hours at a time. I never knew it. But now I love exercising because I don't exercise. I go and I dance. Okay. So here's what East Coast swing looked to me. I went to this place in downtown Seattle, Capitol Hill area called the Century Ballroom. And they had East Coast swing dancing and another form of dance that was called the Lindy Hop. And the Lindy Hop and East Coast swing was back from the Prohibition era, right? And actually a little after the Prohibition era, but kind of in that whole ballpark of time. And the Lindy Hop dance, which is kind of funny, is actually named after Charles Lindbergh, which is my husband's grandfather, Charles Lindbergh. And a lot of things back then were called Lindy. And the family, they think it's funny, is the grandfather, Charles Lindbergh, the famous aviator who flew from New York to Paris in 1927, solo. He wasn't a dancer. But they named it the Lindy Hop after him because he was so famous back then. Oh, which we just smile and shake our heads and we're like, okay, whatever. But anyhow, it's a fun dance where you realize it's a great way to exercise. It requires essentially no grit and no self-discipline because you're essentially partying and you're having a ton of fun. And I was really, really surprised. You would think that a ballroom with 200-300 people in it in Capitol Hill, Seattle, that started at 9 p.m. and went till midnight. You would think it would be like a drunken debauchery, kind of venue thing. It wasn't. It wasn't at all, because it's so much work and exercise to dance, and because everyone's having so much fun dancing, that there really wasn't a lot of drinking going on, or you could drink or not, and really that's not the whole point. The point was I got a ton of exercise, and once I did get, I think, a beer or a glass of wine, and it just made me feel sick because I was, the dancing was so much more fun. And you can't really do that kind of dancing and drinking at the same time. So this is what you do. You look for dance halls near you. And if you're in a bigger city, this is going to be easier. And if you're in a smaller city, you might already know about them. And then you find out when there's a dance. Then you find out if there's a lesson that usually happens about a half hour before the dance, so you can learn some of the basics. Then when the dance starts, it's really not too different from a high school dance, except way cooler and way more fun because you're no longer in high school. And I would go to these and I would dance with, 10 to 20 different dance partners. And it was totally cool. And it was totally, I was actually disappointed at how platonic it was, because I was there to find a man. And in a year and a half of dancing there, I actually never got asked out once. And I asked out one guy and he turned me down. So I can't believe I just said that, but yes, it's true. So if you get into dancing and you think you want to do this, then I highly recommend the next step for you is to get, if you can afford it, do a couple of private lessons and you'll learn a lot about more about the dance and more about more feedback about how to do that particular kind of dance. It helped. I needed it anyway, and it helped me a lot. What I really loved about it the most is I made a whole bunch of friends. I never felt like I was exercising, but I just got so sweaty in dancing there a couple times a week. And so then my exercise a couple days a week no longer felt like a dread. And I loved it. And I was really glad that I was able to do it. So if you are thinking at all about, maybe checking this out for yourself, do give it a try and give yourself time to get good. And you'll love it. Alrighty, friends. That's all for tonight. Bye-bye. Exercise should not be dreadful, but getting off the couch, we know, is the hardest exercise of all. Did you know that Couch to Active has an app? It's the easiest way to keep track of and follow the Couch to Active podcast. So head on over to your app store, and it doesn't matter whether you're on an iPhone, a tablet, or an Android device. Search for Couch to Active, that's T-O Active. Download the app and check it out. Bye-bye now.